From the vibrant cityscapes of Almaty to the untouched beauty of the Kazakh countryside, Kazakhstan is a land full of surprises. In this special two-part series, we're joined by Reshav and Taniya as they take us through their incredible journey across this Central Asian gem. They say this trip was the most exciting adventure in their travel journey so far, in spite of the many challenges they encountered. Let us find out about the unforgettable experiences they had while exploring this vibrant destination. Get ready to discover the hidden gems and unique adventures that Kazakhstan has to offer. So sit back, relax, and let's dive into their travel tales.
I'm very excited to come to Reshav and Taniya.
Thanks, Ananya. Thanks for having us.
I'm glad you guys could join me today, and we are talking about a very exciting destination, which is Kazakhstan. I believe that in the past couple of years, the number of people traveling from India to Kazakhstan has dramatically gone up. It is like one of those top destinations right now. I want to know all about it from you guys. What was your trip all about? But before that, I want to know you guys a little bit more. So please tell me about what do you do? How did you get into traveling, and what type of travelers are you?
Okay, so I'm actually a content writer. Reshav is an HR and
HR professional.
and we love traveling. There was no specific point. It just happened. We started back in 2021. We've been to 4 countries since. We try to do at least one international destination every year. Last year was our personal record of 2 international destinations. So we're really happy about that. Kazakhstan was one of them. So yeah, that is it.
So how did you get into documenting your travels? What about your Instagram handle?
We started our Instagram back in 2020. We wanted to document it for ourselves because there's just so much space our phones can have. And we wanted to have our photos and videos somewhere. It's still a small page, but we now so sort of upload a lot of tips around traveling, a lot of food that travelers can maybe try and stuff like that.
And I'm just curious about the handle name. So like, are souvenirs a really important part of your travel?
That's the most important thing. This name came when we were traveling back from Mount Abu. So that was the first trip when we did it in Gujarat. So I was posted in Ahmedabad. So from there itself, we wanted to have a travel page, but we're not sure as to what are we going to name it. So the only thing that came to our mind is that whenever someone goes to a country, they make sure that they get something from that as a souvenir. So that was something, it was quite aligning with our interest as well. And that's where it came. We love travel. We make sure that whichever country we're going, we get something from there.
That's cute. I'm really interested in knowing what your souvenirs from Kazakhstan were, but we'll keep that for later. I want to know, when did you go to Kazakhstan? How did that trip come about?
We went last year in October, about 10 days. I think included travel to and from India. We initially planned to visit Kazakhstan in September, because that's a good season. It's not too cold, not too hot, and it's bang in the middle. We found cheap tickets in October, so we shifted a plan from September to October, and that is how we ended up visiting there.
Nice. So how was the weather there? Was it chilly when you went?
Well,
it was really cold throughout, but we were prepared because we knew it would be cold, so we did bring our jackets and everything. We did not expect it to rain so much. Snow.
Yeah, that was really unexpected. Even the locals were surprised. Sudden change in temperature. The moment we left Almaty, and then from the very next day, it was all sunny, 5 degrees and above. And the duration of the time when we stayed there, it was all below 5 degrees. It was not a single day that we were able to see the sun properly. But it was too cold, but it's a memorable experience. So in Kazakhstan, we visited 5 places: Almaty, Shymkent, Turkistan, Saty Village, and Scenic Lake. So if I break down to this location, so we went for Shymkent, we went to Kolsai Mausoleum. In Almaty, we went to Zenkov Cathedral, Green Bazaar, Central Park, Koktove, Astana Square, and Central Mosque as well, right? In Shymkent, we had planned to go a lot of places in Shymkent, but unfortunately it rained heavily and our plan got shortened. The only one place that we visited was Dendro Park, and there were more places like a museum that you can definitely visit. And then we went to Turkistan. That city is fabulous. It's just, we never expected that city to be so vibrant. Then we visited Saty Village. We will explain this in a coming further part, but these are the 5 locations we visited.
And what was the highlight for you? For Reshav, definitely it was Turkistan.
I enjoyed our stay in Saty Village. I'd never seen snow. It snowed one night and I was really happy because it was the first time I'd seen snow. And that was the highlight for me.
It must have been quite an experience.
Exactly.
I guess traveling is also all about making the best of the weather. Yeah. What was the first city you got to in Kazakhstan?
Almaty.
Almaty. Okay. That was the first one you explored, or did you head?
We actually landed in Almaty and we were there just for a day, and then we took a train to Shymkent to visit Turkistan. So we actually wanted to use Shymkent as a base to visit Turkistan, and we did that 2 days, and then we returned to Almaty, and the rest of the time we were in Almaty.
Okay. I think we can talk about Shymkent and Turkistan first, and then we can come back to Almaty, I guess.
Sure. Basically, for Scenic, we took a train from Almaty, and that was the first memorable experience, I would say, because this was the first time we are having a train as a mode of transport in a different country. And the most challenging part, I would say, not to book the tickets, but the thing was we're not able to understand because that country is not yet fully open, as I say, for tourism. And as a result of that, there are not enough English-speaking people. We need to get the app Google Translator to translate what is a seat, what is the train number, in which platform it's going to come. So that was a basic challenge, but it was quite easy. The people are so friendly. Even if they don't know the English, they were the first thing to just explain it in a very broken part. So in which direction train going to come, you this. So that was something very funny. And then when we reached Shymkent, so there were very less property, I would say. So we booked Ramada. We stayed in Ramada. Since there were only 2 branded properties, the rest it was more like a homestay. And we were not sure enough in Shymkent that we were going to go for the homestay or not. So it's a very small city. So we actually booked this particular hotel only. And from their hotel, we went to Turkistan, we went to Kolsai Mausoleum. And then that was another experience, I would say, because I would actually ask Tare to explain that very moment when we planned to go to Turkistan and how it went.
We reached Shymkent and decided to spend the first day in Shymkent. And again, it was raining, so we just visited this one park, and it was called Dendro Park. So that was a really pretty park, and that was not even like on our plan to visit. And this hotel receptionist recommended us to go there, and she said it's the best park in the city, and we did. And she was not lying; it was really very pretty. There was a whole lake inside the park, and then people chilling there, having picnics and stuff. And that was just what we did the first day. Oh, we also tried beige barmak, which is like Kazakhstan's national dish, and it has horse meat, and we were feeling really adventurous to try it. We did not like it too much, but we tried it for the sake of trying it. But anyway, the next day we planned to visit Turkistan. You can get buses from Shymkent to Turkistan. It takes from 2 to 3 hours. So this hotel receptionist, he told us that the bus would take quite long because we had a train to catch back to Almaty the same night, and we might not make it. So she said booking a cab would be best. We opened the app. We had Yandex Go there. We opened the app and they were not taking bookings because this is like an intercity thing. And she told that there's another app called InDrive, and you just put in your requirements where you want to go and drivers contact you. We put in our details, phone number and everything. Immediately bombarded with phone calls. And phone calls upon phone calls, and my phone kept buzzing. And now the problem is, I would answer, but they do not know English and I do not know Russian or Kazakh. So we had to get this hotel receptionist to talk to the other person and negotiate a good deal for us. And I don't know, whatever, like she talked to them, and that is how we were able to book one cab. And then we asked the driver to wait there for us while we visited Kolsai Kaindy Mausoleum and then take us back. And we feel a bit ripped off because she charged quite a lot for waiting and bringing us back. But that was the best course of action, so we did not have options.
How was your experience in Turkistan? You said it's a vibrant city and your experience was something else altogether.
So when we planned that we are going to go to the city, so it was something like whenever you visit a country, you have a pre-conscious mindset. This is going to look like this. But Turkistan was quite the opposite. So that city is actually now in developing phase, I would say. It's getting ready for a tourist hub. I have never seen a place such vibrant, even the buildings, the windows, the fences, footpath, everything is colored. It's colored in such a way that while you're going, you cannot just keep your eyes still in one location. You have to see everything so vibrant and colorful. And we actually tried, whenever we go to any place, we try to go early morning, let's say 7 and 8, so that we just lose away all the crowd, everything. And unfortunately, we got delayed this time. And we thought that when we reached there, definitely there will be a lot of crowd. But it was like, okay, we are traveling, it's okay. We're gonna have to manage. But to our surprise, it was the opposite. The whole mausoleum was not, I would say, empty, but yeah, a kind of a UNESCO heritage place. You cannot expect that less crowded. So that was something very astonishing to us, I would say, because it gave us ample opportunity to click pictures, roam around the city, go inside the mosque, look at the places, read history. And that mausoleum, wow, that's so beautiful. And I would say if somebody is visiting Kazakhstan, two things remain common. One is roses. You're gonna see throughout the country roses are there.
It's just like there. On the side of the road, there's a whole bush filled with roses everywhere.
Everywhere.
Wow.
And another is parks everywhere. Kazakh, definitely Almaty has its park every 5-6 kilometers. But even Turkistan also had a lot of parks while we visit there. So yeah, it was quite good, and visiting a place where has been embedded with UNESCO heritage tag, it's itself a big thing, because when you visit such places, you get to know that yes, it has a rich history, and that's why it has labeled in such a way that it's actually create a very nice ambience, and it was really great, I would say. If people are visiting 1 to 2 days max, Shymkyn and Turkestan has not much to offer in terms of tourism right now. But yeah, in coming 3 to 4 years, they might have.
But the Mausoleum
was very beautiful.
I think we were the only foreign tourists there, because the other lesser crowd was also very, I think they were all Kazakh locals. But and there was this huge garden sort of a thing. It's not even a garden, it was just flowers everywhere, like a flower show or something, because it was very colorful, very vibrant flowers, very pretty.
So it happened when traveling from Shymkyn. Shymkyn a little bit dull. The reason is it's all empty land. It's all barren land. The moment you enter, then you see the stark difference. It's like the brightness has been increased, and you're able to in 4K quality, and Shymkyn is in 1080. It was just like that only.
Oh wow, that's a great comparison. Explain how vibrant Turkestan is. But I definitely get the vibe that like you were able to, because there weren't any other tourists around, you got to explore it at your own pace and like click pictures, take it in, and learn the history also a little bit. That's a good strategy.
Yeah, exactly. So that's what we try to do. But yes, it was actually great.
That's like mostly travelers going to Kazakhstan stay in and about Almaty. So that's a great experience to have to explore this other part where, of course, the UNESCO World Heritage Site is. So in the coming years, travelers should venture over there once authorities have taken care of all the provisions for visitors as well. You might face some language challenges and taxi issues, but they're worth it.
Yeah, that's totally worth it. It's very easy to speak English, but it's very difficult when you speak English in a non-speaking country. It's get very creative as such, because you can speak, but you cannot speak as well. You have to explain the gestures.
Yeah, we might be pointing us towards things. If we're buying something, we just show them what we want. Please give us 2 of these. And then they'll be like, okay.
If nothing else works, at least hand gestures well.
Always.
Yeah. So then on your way back from Shymkyn, was that when you went to Saty Village, or did you go to Almaty first?
Actually went to Almaty first. We had a return train from Shymkyn to Almaty, and then we actually took a guided tour. It was a 2-day tour, and that included stay in Saty Village. From there, we visited Kolsai Kaindy Lakes and Charyn Canyon. We spent 2 nights at a local guest house there. So that was a really nice experience.
Oh, nice. So what did you like about Almaty?
We loved everything. Of all the places we've been to, Almaty is our favorite city. It has a lot of greenery. It has really nice roads. It has a lot of parks, of course. Plus, it is really accessible. It's really easy to walk from one point to the other. Even if it's kilometers away, it's very accessible.
She's talking about walking. So on the very first day itself, we close to walk around 8-9 kilometers.
We walked around 20
kilometers on the first day itself. So
wow.
It goes to her, because she's the one who navigates through all the whenever we go to location, and it's only 1 kilometer. It's 900 meters.
Yeah.
It's not 1 kilometer. It's 2.5 kilometers. But you're walking and you're talking, and so you don't get an idea as to you're actually traveling to about 5 kilometers.
Oh wow.
When you come back to your room
And legs hurt.
and then you try to realize that yes, as I said earlier, we traveled 20 kilometers on the first day. So it itself is that how beautiful the city is and how easy it is without getting rammed by vehicles. Such a beautiful city, I would say.
So in this 20-kilometer walk, what were your highlights? The full day of walking that you did in Almaty.
In Almaty, we actually strategized with respect to location very evidently that all the tourist location remains in and around our place. So in Almaty, we went to Zenkov Cathedral and Central Park. In Almaty, every 5 or 6 kilometers, you will be passing a park by your side, and it's not a small park, I would say. It's very big and it's so beautiful, so greenery. It was autumn, so everything was yellow in color, yellow in shade.
We've never seen forests
Yeah.
grow in movies.
Correct.
So it was really exciting for us. We took so many photos of just these yellow leaves. It was so beautiful.
Then we went to Paniplu Park. So it's a rich history as to when Kazakh got independence and how at all wars happened and Second World War happened and how many have sacrificed themselves in terms of armed forces. Then we went to Astana Square and we ended our day by visiting Central Mosque. We didn't go inside, but yeah, from the outside it was quite beautiful. And after that, while returning back to our Airbnb, we actually stopped at Green Bazaar. So if anybody is visiting Almaty, this is one place that you should definitely visit. That is
And you should also
Green.
be really careful.
Yeah, Green Bazaar.
Yeah.
So even if you happen to miss out the parks, but don't miss out this Green Bazaar.
It's really vibrant. It's like you get everything there. I think I saw everything from fruits to meat to clothes to like kitchen items, like a lot of things. There's everything. There were perfumes. There's this huge market that is divided into, I think there's
Floors.
a basement and then
Then the first floor and then the top floor. But the top floor happens to only have restaurants and cafes. So over there, you can go sit there and watch all the areas below that floor. And so if you're going to Green Bazaar, it's so inside facility. It's all fruit, vegetable and wet market. And then right outside the perimeter is all about your dressing and your shopping with respect to perfumes, all the makeup items, everything. So if you're going, definitely 2 to 3 hours is minimum that is going to take you, because it's such a place where you might be thinking that I will not get ripped off or I will make sure that I won't get cheated. But there are
sweet talkers. They would just see Indians. And they would just start with Aishwarya Rai and Shah Rukh Khan and let's just name a few random celebrities.
I don't know by what they hypnotize us or anything.
We did end up buying.
Yeah, we end up buying. And we end up buying stuff over there. You just taste it out, you can taste this is very good.
But it tastes good.
It actually. But yeah, that's how you get ripped off and then you try to make it conscious that it was good.
You walk into the trap. It was a dessert thing, and then we tasted it, and we know we're walking into a trap. Let's just walk in because it's really good. We should buy a few.
I'm not sure if you're recommending this spot or you're asking people to stay away from it.
Yeah, people should go, but just be cautious. There's just a lot of things. There are a lot of things there, and you would want to buy so many things.
So even though there are you might get ripped off, but it is an experience that you should try out. If you're not into Bollywood and you don't know who the celebs are, then maybe you are safe. So that was Green Bazaar. That was one of the highlights of your 20-kilometer walk.
Yeah.
I want to know about, like you mentioned that you did a 2-day tour in which you went around various spots of Almaty. So I want to know what all did you do under that tour?
So we left Almaty and towards the evening, and we reached Saty Village in the middle of the night. And so Saty Village is like a proper Kazakh village, a lot cleaner, a lot prettier. And we stayed there overnight. The next day, we actually visited Kolsai Kaindy Lakes. These are really famous places when we found if you're visiting Almaty, Kolsai Lake, Kaindy Lake, and Charyn Canyon. They're on every itinerary list. So you cannot miss them. And the best way to do those is through a trip because it's a lot more convenient. Otherwise, you would have to rent a car to get from Almaty to this lake, which takes about 7 to 8 hours. So the next day, we had a very nice breakfast at this, I think, at the host's home. And we left for Kaindy Lake, and that was also really nice because they picked us up in a Soviet-style SUV, and we went off-roading and we crossed like shallow rivers and stuff to reach this point. And it was like a great experience. And the guide had a really nice playlist put on, so we were all very energetic early in the morning to be off-roading to visit a lake. But towards in the afternoon, we returned back to the home that we were staying in, and they had prepared lunch for us. So we were asked in the beginning if we were vegetarians or non-vegetarians, and we ate chicken. So we said not vegetarians, but we did not realize that chicken is not the default meat in Kazakhstan. Beef is, and we do not eat beef. So we were worried because now the person has cooked for us, and of course we can't just ask them to cook something else because we won't eat it. And that was a bit of a pickle there. But they had rice and they had this tomato chutney, and that was the best tomato chutney we've ever had in our life. We had just rice with this tomato chutney, and we still talk about the tomato chutney.
Seriously, I'm not sure as to why that taste is so great. It's all because of tomato, or it's because we were very hungry, or it's because that weather was such that every warm thing is gonna taste very good to us. But it's still now when you think about it, that was quite damn tasty about that. Something was there in that tomato chutney.
And there was tomatoes in salad, and the tomatoes themselves were so tasty. I don't know. I've never said the tomato is tasty, but those tomatoes were really something. Were really juicy.
Special secret Kazakh tomatoes are secret.
That's the only conclusion I can get.
Yeah.
Something special about the tomato in Kazakh only.
It's really tasty. Even after we returned to Almaty, we tried searching supermarkets for that tomato chutney, but we could not find it. Just listen our memories now.
Yeah.
But then towards the evening, like tomato chutney went through me off. Towards the evening, we went to Kolsai Lake, and that was also really nice. So actually, the weather there was very cloudy, and these lakes are really pretty. They have really nice bluish waters, and if the sun was shining, they would have looked so much more prettier, but it was just a bit gloomy, but pretty nonetheless. So we went there. Then the second night again, we stayed at the hostess's home in Saty Village. And the third day in the morning, we left for Charyn Canyon. We were told Charyn Canyon is only one of 2 canyons in the world. The first one is in America, and then there's this one in Kazakhstan. On the way, we also visited 2 small canyons, Black Canyon and Moon Canyon, but nothing.
It's just that it's a formation of everything that happened. So in a sequence way, they made us visit to understand that how it went pattern. So moon itself, it's like a crescent-shaped canyon. So it's a moon canyon, and the Black Canyon was, I think it was a...
Black Canyon was because it was also known as Hell's Canyon because you can't see it from afar that
So it happens to look like the mountain is there. But eventually what happens when you reach there, it's nothing but 200, 300 feet depth of, it's canyon. So it is named as a Hell Canyon. The reason being that why? Because in that a lot of people died during the wars. So it was all pitch dark and people thought that they're crossing the village, but they end up crossing the canyon. It just went down. Yeah, so that's why it's named as Hell Canyon as well.
So that is that. We finally had some sun in Charyn Canyon.
Yeah.
So that is that. A lot of tour operators also do like this 1-day tour and 2-day tour. We opted for the 2-day one, and I would recommend the 2-day one because the 1-day one was really rushed. It anyway takes around 5 to 6 hours to reach from Almaty, to start from Almaty and reach Saty Village. And then from Saty Village, it's another, I think, about 3 or 4 hours to reach Charyn Canyon. And from Charyn Canyon, it's another 5 to 6 hours to reach back to Almaty. And we talked to a few people who had done 1-day tours, and it took them around 15 to 16 hours of just returning around the bus and just visiting places. So yeah, that's a really fast-paced. I know we would not recommend it at all. If you have the time, so it's best to just go for a 2-day tour at a relaxed pace. Have fun.
That makes sense. Yeah. Otherwise, you'll be too exhausted from just the journey to even appreciate what you're seeing.
It's definitely takes because when we boarded the bus, it was 8 p.m. We boarded the bus from Almaty. But when we reached there, it was quite 2 a.m. in the morning. It was already -1 was the temperature at that very moment. It was so cold. So that was experience. And if you would ask that to sum up with respect to the Saty Village, the wholesome thing that we had that was staying in a local house. All the way new experience, because we try to have this type of experience, but unfortunately choices that we make, it tends to that go to all these places. But yeah, it was such a beautiful homestay, and they took care of us like so generous and so understanding. So there were two old couples, late 70s and I would say 80s, that grandma and grandma, the Russian
She
grandma.
scolded him for some reason.
So scolded me the only for reasons it was very cold and the doors were quite heavy. So it makes sure that whenever it gets open, the cold air doesn't come in. And me being me, I just left the door open, and the grandma she was so angry. She wanted to say something in Russian, and she said also, but I couldn't understand exactly. So that experience was good.
That wraps up the first part of our conversation with Reshav and Taniya. We've explored their initial impressions of Kazakhstan, their travel experiences, and the delightful surprises that awaited them. But stay tuned, because in the next part, we'll delve deeper into their accommodations, culinary adventures, and the unforgettable souvenirs they brought back home. If you've enjoyed this episode, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon so you never miss a story from the Trip 101 Travel Talk series.